Hello, my name is Mordred Viking and I'd like to welcome you to this stream of Europa Universalis 4, where we are going to be continuing with the Golden Century, where we have just formed our Pirate Republic. We are over here, we are the red dudes. This is Betsimisaraka, which I'm getting better at saying every time I say it. And we had to release a bunch of territories here, so both Imerina and Sakalava are now independent, but we are no longer constrained to size limits. We needed to be small enough to form the Republic, but now that we have done so, we can do what we like, effectively. We are extremely low on stability, so we will need to invest in that. Now, unfortunately, we are still a Republic, so it's horrifically expensive. Thankfully, we did let our Republican tradition recover quite well, so it's not completely crazy expensive, but it's still pretty expensive. We could also do religious sacrifices. Huzzah! Ball and Stalin, thank you very much for the subscription. I appreciate that. Welcome to the Maudlings. Although I know you've been there before, because that's a name I definitely recognise. Which would have been super helpful previously. Yearly prestige, +1. Damn it! Needed stability of at least 1. Really? All I had to do was get 1 extra stability and I could have done this. Which would have saved us about 10 years time for forming the Republic. Never mind, it's done now. Right, the next decision we need to make is choosing our reform, and this is a more difficult choice. So we've already kind of dismissed the Smuggler's Haven, because I don't think the trade power abroad is going to be very useful, because that is basically going to interrupt our own privateering efforts. Which then leads to either the Articles of Agreement or the Council of Captains. Actually, the Smuggler's Haven could make a really interesting merchant republic, because you could still raid other people's coasts to raise funds and to raise sailors, but then still have a really tight grip on trade itself, through trade power abroad, through the massive naval force limit modifier, and then combined with one of these, you can actually get the Merchant Republic mechanics. Forget which one it is, not Pirate King. It's not that one. Black Market Consortium allows you to basically play a Merchant Republic with the Pirate Republic stuff and raiding. So that would be an option if we were doing that, but we're not. We're going all out fightiness. So we can take the privateer efficiency from the Council of Captains, which also increases the captain's influence, or we can take the Articles of Agreements, which increases the Buccaneers' influence, increases the amount of yearly Republican tradition we gain, and then also the National Sailors modifier. Bearing in mind that the base Pirate Republic does have a -1 yearly Republican tradition. So as long as the Buccaneers are not in power, we will be losing Republican tradition. And if we have the Articles of Agreement, we will be gaining Republican tradition, 0.5 above what we ordinarily would, as long as the Buccaneers are in power. I think I'm going to go for the Buccaneers. It's that Republican tradition is too powerful not to go for. Yeah, the privateer efficiency is nice, but I have a feeling with the massive amount of naval force limit, we're going to have a lot of privateers regardless. As a historian, the Articles of Agreement are fascinating. Yeah, they are pretty impressive. So we're going to do the Articles of Agreement, definitely. Probably. No, we are. And then we are only 60 points away, so all of the reform that we had saved up during the time as a republic has carried across, and then we'll be able to get frequent elections or the consolidation of power. Sortition is not actually available to us because we're a pirate republic, so it's going to be one of these two for the next one. And we have another national... Oh, we never did take this. There's no reason not to. Otherwise, we are still waiting for technology to spread before we can do much more with that. So, we want to continue doing that. You are on your way to the Maldives, because we will be able to start exploring from the Maldives. And when is the next idea group available? 7. So we're 2 techs away from that. So we do want to be a little bit careful about our use of administrative, because we will want to grab expansion ideas when that becomes available. Although I must admit, I am still kind of tempted by exploration. The extra colonial range would be nice because we'd be able to make bigger jumps between colonies. The extra colonist is good. We'll be able to continue exploring, though that'll be less of an issue now that we've already got an explorer. The tariffs I don't think are going to be much of a problem. The expel minorities aren't going to be much of a thing. But the naval force limit is, and then the fabricate claims on overseas. Actually, fabricating claims on trade companies would probably be better for us, actually, because we are Eastern. Yeah, I think we'll go expansion. So that's going to be our first admin idea. And that's also going to allow me to colonize 2 places at once. We do need to consider invading people. So we are over the force limit by 4 at the moment, so we don't want to stick with that for too long. We don't... Oh, you're allied with Matapa. Although Matapa themselves are at war, so they may not accept a call. Let's wait for the 3 days. And let's reduce the speed because we're actually able to do things now. Matapa would answer. So who exactly is Matapa fighting? Malindi and Wasangli, which they hugely outnumber. That's not going to be a very hard fight, and you're only fighting Matapa. Yeah, okay, so we're going to start by fabricating a network on Imerina with the intention of attacking them. We'll move our army up here to the north, and we'll just keep you circling around like a vulture. Oh, you're probably going to... Flipping hell, you're 5 military techs ahead of me. That's a lot. That's an awful lot. How on earth have you gained that much technology? Surely you would have... I guess you were still a thing, just independent. Good grief. That's actually really worrying. So even though I outnumber them 2 to 1, 5 military technologies is a hell of a lot. So at level 9, they'd be 0.5 tactics ahead of us. And this early in the game, that is a humongous difference. In terms of morale... Where's morale? There it is. They wouldn't be ahead of us. So morale, we're equal. Tactics? I'm not sure that we can afford to do a battle or a war against them. And Mutapa really dislike the fact that we're pirating them. Oh, speaking of pirating, actually, I'm going to stop you doing that because we can raid coasts. Let's do that now. Yoink. And we'll sail down here and do the same. We'll just go along their coastline and just steal all their stuff because it rightfully belongs to me. I need to rival one of those. I don't want to rival Matapa. I want to keep them out of these wars if we can. Also, we can get a lot of technology spreading from Matapa. So I would very much like to keep them on side, if at all possible. So I'm going to improve relations with Mutapa. And I think we will have to go ahead and rival Malindi. Although Malindi is also in a position to give us technology, so like all of these options are bad. In fact, we have so little power projection, I don't really care about having no rivals right now. Gold mines can be dangerous without economic. I don't have much of an intention of expanding into Africa. I think I'm going to keep my routes of expansion islands. I want to keep the theme of us being a pirate republic active. I don't just want to go on a conquering spree. So the intention here is to create loads of little pirate havens and then use those to control other trade nodes through privateering and raiding coasts. They're mostly a way of getting raid coast. Let me just sort out my tea supplies. That's 1 tea bag. Unfortunately, I usually put 2 tea bags in at once and they come like together, but they've split up. It's very annoying. Ah, dropping stuff. Right, where the hell are you? I can't even see it. There you are. Hello, Poppet. Right, and then put extremely hot lid back on. Pour tea in cup. And there we go. We are ready to go. Can an explorer actually explore without Quest for the New World? Yes, the only thing that you need Quest for the New World is to hire explorers. Because I got my explorer through an event, I'm able to explore just normally. As if coastal raiding in the Mediterranean wasn't annoying enough. Yep, you are going to start seeing more of it in the Mediterranean, and now probably also in the Caribbean, and possibly in Africa, because there is a dynamic event which can make Madagascar into pirates as well. I'm not just doing this because I can do this. They could actually become pirates. As can Palembang in Indonesia. So pirates just generally are going to be more of a thing, which is interesting. It's going to give a much bigger reason to have a navy. What about building a flagship? That's a good question. We can do it now. It cost me 100, which is a pretty penny. But I think probably worth it. Yeah, we'll build one. Okay, so here is the flagship, which we were not going to call Heavy Ship 1. In fact, what are the random names, I wonder? Heavy Ship 1. So I'm going to guess that other nations have an actual name list, but we're going to call it the Flying Dutchman. And we can choose if we want it to be a heavy ship, a light ship, or a galley. Why would you want your flagship to be a light ship? I guess there's going to be, yeah, trade power per ship and fleet, so you could make it, like, really good at trading. Which, for a pirate, could actually be pretty strong. And then we've got loads of different abilities here. So we could have mass load the cannons, which will increase the maintenance by 0.5. Which does in fact cost 0.5, okay. And will increase the number of cannons on that light ship. We could get a trade route map, which will increase the trade power per ship in the fleet by +1. And I think that privateers use trade power. So the more trade power you have, the more privateering you're going to do, which could then be further modified. Command after castle will give it a fleet morale. Fleet engagement width +3. That's just a solid +3, which is then going to be further modified by naval ideas. Fleet blockade impact on a siege with mortars. So not only can navies barrage, they can also equip mortars, although that's pretty expensive. Fleet movement +1 with a standardized signal book. That would be quite nice, actually. Flagship durability +50%. So you could absolutely just make the most ridiculous warship with the hull sheathing, with the load mass cannons, and then probably some other things. Integrated Marines is a very interesting idea. Movement speed on and off of ships -33%. So if you're trying to do lots of naval attacks, hit and run, grab this one, and you will be jumping on and off those transports like ridiculously quickly. It's kind of an interesting idea, because usually it takes a month. This would effectively mean it takes 20 days, which means you can get in and out dodge quicker than usual. And if you're playing as Portugal, you get this -50 instead of 33. Like the Portuguese have a special one. Flag officers, monthly chance of an admiral skill gain on mission. So every month you have +1 chance of gaining a skill with your admiral. That's kind of interesting. We have a spare Jolly Roger, which would allow us to do some more fleet privateering. So I'm kind of leaning towards the +1 trade, and then the fleet privateering efficiency. And then finally we have the fleet naval tradition from battles, which gives you more prestige and also more naval tradition from those battles for that fleet. I think we're going to go with one of those. We're going to go with one of those. And then maybe movement, so we can get in and out really quickly. Maybe flagship durability, because this thing is pretty expensive. It's 5 times more expensive than a regular light ship. And I don't know if they automatically upgrade over time either. The monthly chance of an admiral skill gain would also be nice. And there's not actually anything stopping us from making this ship into a heavy. Be expensive. Very expensive. And because there's heavies in the fleet, we can still have it move really quickly. Because we probably will need to doomstack for a while, at least. Or we could just stick even more cannons on there. I don't know if you can upgrade your flagship once it's already deployed. I think I'm going to go for the movement speed. So the Admiral skill is also... No, you know what? We're going to go with the Admiral skill. Yeah, because I want to have a permanent Admiral on this bad boy, basically. We're going to go with a heavy ship. We're going to call it the Flying Dutchman. Build it. Takes 2 years. Gotta have an enterprise with a captain's log. So, there we go. We will need to get an admiral on there, and we're basically just going to stick you in my main privateering fleet, because we are just privateering Zanzibar at the moment, although we can actually reach Aden now. Aden's worth 8, Zanzibar is worth 6. So going for Aden would be more valuable. Or Coromandel is even more. That's 13. We could use we could just use the Maldives as a privateering position and go for Coromandel. There's loads more money there. I might just do that. I was just going to cancel the fleet basing with the Maldives, but I don't think we need to anymore. What flagship bonuses did I go for? I went for the extra trade power, the extra privateering, and the chance of admiral skills increasing. I don't know that I can actually reach Bengal. Although it doesn't look hashed out like this. So maybe I can. Yeah, probably. So how are the technologies doing? Oh! Oh, that's Ajuran have embraced. Awesome! So Kilwa has started to gain Renaissance, and it'll be gaining it pretty quickly. 3.8 because they have embraced. That's amazing. And then we'll be able to get it in Zanzibar, and then hopefully embrace it from there. And in fact, Zanzibar is going to be worth quite a lot of the total development, so we might well be able to do that. I think I might need to disband 4, because we're not going to go to war yet. Yeah, we need to get rid of 4 units. Otherwise, that's kind of expensive. Drop them, send you up north. Okay. And then you're sailing down here so we can do some more raiding. The pirates are here! Oh yeah! Ah, oh, so happy. Making a good amount of money from this too. Which is already more than paid for the flagship. Oh, and of course we're in Zanzibar, so we can loot all of this too. And probably... Well, actually, not sure you can raid from allies. No, you can't raid from allies, which makes sense. This is in supply range, so what is the rule? Fleet is able to raid the surrounding coastlines for sails and gold. Hunting. Gain 13 ducats. Cannot raid the friends, that's fine. 100% effective raiding elsewhere. But what's the range? Is it just supply limit? I feel like it's just so long as it's within your supply ships. My captain, we have ill news. Oh, the explorer died. Damn it, I didn't have a chance to send them off again. Well, in that case, we'll meet you over here. Group. And I'm just going to go ahead and hire... Oh, yeah! Your ruler, as a pirate republic, is not a general. It's an admiral. Which is just one of those little touches. I'm just like, that's a fantastic idea. That's amazing. And I believe you can actually get bonuses, much like the Pope, with some of the separation of power reforms. Alright, so we're going to put you in charge, I guess. Unfortunately, I can't have you dying through drilling. And we cannot raid the coast. Too far away from the homeland, so it has to be within range of a core. So the fleet basing rights in the Maldives are actually kind of wasted, so I'm going to go ahead and cancel those. Too bad. Might need those again later. And then basically we can go back to the privateering. No, that's what I was going to do, wasn't it? Crap. I was going to use that as a privateering base. I'm an idiot. Come on. costs half a ducat. Privateer. Coromandel. And that's going to be good, because it's not going to actively piss off my neighbours. I mean, raiding them's going to piss them off. Don't get me wrong. They probably already hate our guts. Yep. Hey, that guy from California. How are you doing? So far, so good. We have a flagship on the go. We are now a pirate republic, officially. I feel like I should try and import the flag that I made for the thumbnail, where it's got the Jolly Roger on top of this. Hey, Davon. And everyone else. I don't think I've actually said hello to everyone. How are you all doing today? Shove an explorer on the Enterprise for good measure. Could I please do an overview with pirates? Sorry, let me just restate that. We're pirates around here. Arr. Cogs aren't doing anything. The Carracks aren't doing anything. That's fine. And you are now pirating. So how effective is the piracy? We were gaining 12% back in Zanzibar. We're getting 10% here. So I would hope that the spoils of war, 1 ducat a month. Glorious, that is paying for the fleet basing rights. Glad I can watch the stream instead of studying for exams. Go study for exams! Why do people keep using me as an excuse for this? It's awful. I have to watch you play this and I can't play it for myself. Tuesday. Tuesday you will be able to. They've done a really good job with the flavour for the pirates. Oh, wait. I can raid the Maldives. I think that's what you're telling me here. Doing this is going to piss them off and they may cancel the fleet basing. Oh, I'm not going to do it. Although that is so tempting. That is so unbelievably tempting. And we are making a profit. I don't have any loans or anything, right? No, we're not rooting out corruption anymore. Fantastic. We could potentially get an advisor, though I think that would be ill-advised. Let's start drilling our troops, because actually, we're currently sitting on 0 morale. I can't drill you, we have no general. Let's first of all get a general, whom we should call Melgin. And start drilling. What is my leaders? I have 1 out of 2. Right, because my admiral is my ruler. And I am going to have to spend some development soon. Alas. But I can now put it basically anywhere. Actually, I'm kind of curious. What is my development compared to that of my neighbours? I have 94 development still? Really? Owning the little bit that I own, that's still 94? Then you've got 4, 13, 25. Okay, I'm quite a lot bigger than you. 60. Wow. Really? I built you up to a 16? 26. 34. 41. 46. 52. So the light blues are once again really strong. The dark blues, not so much. But the last thing that I want is for these guys to be allied with each other. So who are your rivals? Sakava, Hemira. You've rivaled each other. Excellent. That's what I like to see. And no, I don't have any institutions. I just need Ajuran to hurry up and embrace so that I can get it in thingy. Gilwa. Ah, Mutapa would say no now. Still need to wait for the spy network, but that's really good. So long as Mutapa keeps losing this war, maybe we'll be going to war. So let's go and cancel that. We're going to wait until we're at like 15 spy network, and then we'll open you up again. And we may well need the navy. No, we won't, because they have no coastal provinces. Yeah, that's true. Just notice the amount of monarch points you have saved. Did they remove the cap on that? Nope. It's because I have no technologies. So my tech penalty right now is 85%, which means your cap is also increased by 85%. Actually going to go and play some EU now that I'm finally learning to play. It is so worth it. Like, I know from when we talked in Stockholm that you're into Hearts of Iron 4. This is just so much more rewarding. Worth learning. Very, very worth learning. Although I must admit, the things I'm hearing more recently about the Man the Guns for Hearts of Iron 4, I'm getting slightly more excited. I am curious to see how that goes. Took your advice and started as France. That's a good choice. Election in the Pirate Republic. A captain rules over the nation of thieves and murderers, whose sole political desire is to not be ruled at all. It is a task comparable to herding sharks, yet some brave or foolhardy soul must fill the role. The time has come again to elect the captain, and Romano Anticara does not plan on giving up his authority. Anticara must convince the assembled pirates through persuasion and dread intimidation that his rule is preferable to that of his rivals. So we could keep him, which will kill our Republican tradition. He is good because he gives us Republican tradition, so I think I am going to keep this chap, even though he's a little bit older. We do have the Buccaneers in power, so we're actually generating 2 Republican tradition a year, which is actually huge. So there's a re-election every 4 years. It costs 10, so we're getting 2 a year, so we're basically losing 2 Republican tradition every time we re-elect this guy. That's doable. That's absolutely doable. And in fact, if we then go for, say, plutocracy plus economic, then we get Republican tradition. Yeah, I think that's going to be the best way. I don't think that the Republican reforms will allow us to do more. It might do. Some of them still exist, so yes, perhaps. Separation of power is, I think, one of the ones that usually gives you Republican tradition. I think the second tier is as well. Trying to remember from the Milan game. I think Man the Guns will finally boost Hearts of Iron 4 where it should have been at release. Unfortunately, EU4 is declining. Although some of that could just be me being crabby and old because I started playing it shortly after I came out. Don't like all the newfangled changes. I think that EU4 is in the strongest place it's ever been. Like, after Mandate of Heaven and Third Rome, I was worried because the quality of the expansion seems to be going down. But then they released Cradle of Civilization and Dharma, which were excellent, absolutely excellent. Rule Britannia was okay, it was average, wasn't great, wasn't bad. And then this one, which I still can't comment on whether I'm enjoying it or not, though the various voices and things I keep putting on probably gives you a clue. I think that EU4 at the moment really is in raw health. Many join the ranks of our navy expecting a more exciting life awaiting them than the opportunity to leave their home behind and see the Lisi and land beyond Betsimisarakan borders. Not all of those are prepared for the often harsh and even more dull and boring life at sea. Well, that's unfortunate, but I have quite a few sailors, and in fact we are well over our limit right now, so I'm not going to complain too hard. I totally forgot to raise my maintenance. That's irritating. Okay, so this is going to be 14,000 against 8,000. Where's your capital? It's Marina. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to move down here, and I'm just going to try and take them out without fighting them. Kind of like I did previously when we were engaged with these chaps. And maybe Sakalava is going to jump in on them. They cannot jump on me because we have a truce, another 4 years. But the fact that they're on Miltech 11 and I'm on Miltech 6 does concern me. ever so slightly. Okay, so Pate has now got Renaissance, and it is spreading really quite quickly to me. Now, second question. Colonialism is not far behind, but we saw how slowly it spread down the Red Sea. It was way slower than I expected, so I'm not going to wait for it. It's already at 35%. Eef. How big is the tech disadvantage? It's pretty big. Like, early on, tech disparities matter a lot more. Why is it I did not tech up? Because it is really, really expensive. It costs 85% more to do so. And I'm not doing the dev for institutions because I freaking hate that system. There is no reason that a new theory should just spawn somewhere for absolutely no context and no reason other than the fact you spent some magic points. I hate that system, and I would disable it if I could. The spreading over time, I like that. It kind of ruins that entire mechanic if you just dev up and spawn it somewhere. And I know from my India playthroughs that the early techs are the really difficult ones. After global trade, manufacturing, and enlightenment, you can do things to have those technologies spread more quickly in your own territory. So I know that the early game is very difficult. Tech-wise. I'm aware of this, and I'm happy to kind of deal with it. Alright, so we've got the Flying Dutchman. It's built. This is our new flagship, so this is one of the new features of Golden Century. We are carrying a spare Jolly Roger, which will increase the fleet privateering efficiency by 25%. We have a trade route map, which is increasing the trade power of every ship in the fleet by +1. And we have flag officers, which gives a 1% monthly chance of the Admiral gaining skill. One interesting note about the trade route map. Trade power per ship. It does not specify light ships. So, you could, theoretically, put this as, for example, the Knights, have the trade route map, and have that flagship then leading your galley fleet, which, if you're playing the Knights properly, is going to be huge. And then suddenly your galley fleet can protect trade, and will earn you trade. This allows any ship in the fleet to gain trade power. Not just light ships. So I'm just going to move the flagship over to this. We're going to merge together. And... oh, just lost a month worth of income from that privateering. Oh well. Unfortunately, he is kind of slow moving. So you... privateer. Coromandel. Go. I should actually have double checked to see what the trade power of this fleet was before doing this, but I totally forgot. In fact, does it say somewhere? I could have sworn that it showed trade power up here, but that's blockade power, that's positioning. So where's the fleet trade power? I know you can see it in this. 43.29 trade power to Coromandel, but I thought there was a way of seeing how much the fleet itself was contributing. So we're going from 0 privateering to a number of privateering. I know I should be focusing on preparing for that war. Boop. Where are you? There you are. That's not what I meant to do. I meant to check this. And now we have suddenly got 17% privateering here. And we are earning 1.9 ducats. So we actually earned almost a full ducat more in income from doing that. And now that our Admiral has the flagship, the Admiral should have a chance of increasing its skills. Okay. It is time for this war. No! Damn it! Mutalpa's still at war, so that could change. Right, let's go ahead and fabricate a claim on Simeti, because clearly it's mine. Actually, I probably should have done that on Marina, because then it's the war goal. No, that's fine. If only there was a way of sabotaging your relations. They have minus 31 from war exhaustion. They are actually suffering quite heavily in this war against Malindi. And in the meantime, the longer I wait, the more likely I am to get the technologies. In fact, one thing I would like to do is speed up the institution spread here. And unfortunately, I am the wrong kind of fetishist. I am not getting the spread rate, which is unfortunate. But we are still getting 68, but it could be 78. Never mind. You can finally have your heavy fleet protect your trade and not immediately die when you declare war. Well, you can put your heavy fleet in amongst light ships anyway. And it is actually quite a good idea to do that. The downside is having a lot of heavy ships out is going to mean your sailors just takes a massive hit. Because heavies are very, very, very sailor intensive. The best DLC at the moment for Hoi 4 is Kaiserreich. I think the mod you're using, the multiplayer series, will hopefully get integrated into the game when it comes to the institution spread. I would really hope so. Or at least, one thing they have been talking about is creating your own rule set in the same way that Crusader Kings 2 has now, because of all the changes being added over time to EU4. There's a lot of different things appearing. And I really hope that's one of the options, because I will just play with that permanently off. Right, we need to spend more dev. Done. %. We're gaining 1.3 a month, which is pretty good. However, that's still going to be 4 more years before I can actually hopefully embrace. Because I think it's 10% of your country needs to be. Yeah, I think it's like 10% of your country needs to have that. Needs to have it present. And I'm fairly sure that Zanzibar getting it will be that 10%. Because Zanzibar is a pretty big province. 16 dev. And it could be a bit bigger, granted. Like 18. Maybe even 20. No. They finished their war. Here comes printing press. Oh, everything's just getting worse. Rumours have reached us of faraway lands where the written word is mass-produced in huge and never-before-imagined numbers. According to these informants, this has reshaped their learned and political world. And colonialism's only at 37%. It's been around for 37 years. And already we have printing press. Hey, I'm back. Did we manage to become pirates? I don't know. Did we manage to become pirates? I couldn't possibly say. I think Matapa also rivaled us. Nope. Yes. Yes, they did. No, I rivaled... Yeah, they did rival me. Alright, well, I guess that's going to put up any possible pretense. Could expand north into Arabia. True. I want to take control of Madagascar, though. Alright, so Sakava. You've also allied Matapa. Everyone's allying Matapa. This is bad. Well, is it? Alright, so at this point we do need to take a very close look at Matapa's naval strength. It's terrible. We're good. I mean, it'll take me a little while to get these guys back home. But then when I do, I think we'll be fine. I mean, we effectively have 6 heavies versus their 2. Or was it 3? 3. And we have our own modifiers. And we have maritime ideas. In fact, we could embrace some of these maritime ideas. Like these 2 especially would be very, very strong. Yeah, do it. Merchants worried about the lack of protection. With our focus on free trade, our merchants are concerned that they are not getting the support they would get under a more mercantilist policy. We'll get some more mercantilism then. Obviously. I could get one more, which would give me more privateering efficiency and also embargo efficiency. Speaking of which, I should totally be embargoing these guys. One. Can't do them. We can do Matapa though. And with that, I'm actually tempted to start pirating Zanzibar again because we would earn quite a lot of power from doing this. And also, what's really important is power projection equals Republican tradition for us. So having high power projection is very, very valuable. I'm going to start you drilling again, because I want to keep that advantage alive, if we can. Oh, and we probably should accept Swahili. I didn't realise there was so much of Swahili in our country already. Go ahead and do that. That should also help. Right, how's Zanzibar doing? 2 more years. So if I can embrace the technology from Zanzibar, I will do so. I will tech up and then I'll probably declare war. Even if Matapa's in, because I can just blockade Matapa into submission. Aragon. Are the Maldives allied to anyone? No. Actually, yes, Pasai. Which is actually a pretty good ally, and they're fairly sizable. Ah, Pasai took out Palembang. That's unfortunate. I might cancel my fleet basing. Well, I don't know. 0.5 ducats is kind of useful to have, because it means that I can go after Coromandel basically at will. We're now pirating 33% of this, but I think that this is actually costing me more money because I'm losing trade. I'm getting a lot less power projection from this than I was hoping. Only 3. I'm not sure it's worth that cost. Let's go back to privateering Coromandel. Although that's only costing me 1.63 to... Oh, yeah. Okay, I was losing quite a lot of money doing that. So, going after Zanzibar is not a good option. Do I still have cores on these guys? No. You lose all of those when you release the vassal. Although, I have a... No, I lost my core on that province too, so I will be spending a bunch of admin recoring all of this. Especially these, because they're kind of expensive. This one especially. Speed for this until something actually happens. Okay, so Mutapa is under attack again. So I think I just need to keep an eye on you to see if you ever say, will not join. Although, honestly, that kind of seems a bit unlikely. You know what would be really dangerous? If Ajuran and Mutapa went to war. If Ajuran declares war on Mutapa, then Mutapa's defensive allies will answer, which is both of my rivals on Madagascar. In which case, I will then suddenly be outnumbered. What's my flagship like? It's wonderful. It increases the trade power of all ships under its command, which includes ships which are not light ships, so if I had, for example, galleys in that fleet, then they would also get trade power from this. It increases my privateering efficiency of that fleet by 25%. So not only do we have more trade power, which is also privateering strength, it then doubles or increases that by a quarter. And then it also has a 1% chance per month of increasing the skills of the commanding admiral. Plus it's a heavy ship, which just hits hard anyway. Truce of Calavo's ended. Alright, that's where things kind of get bad. And Matapa's actually getting Renaissance. Down here? How? Oh, they have knowledge sharing. Yes, that is a thing, isn't it? Unfortunately, no one's offered it to me. Ajuran. You know what? I should probably be improving relations with Ajuran. Election of the Pirate Republic. So we could keep this chap around. I think we probably ought to. He is 60, but he does refund a bunch of that yearly Republican tradition, so it's worth doing. You are actually getting kind of stomped. Kikonja and Kasanje. Oh, no you're not. I just need to wait. Same thing will happen to them that happened to Kilwa. They'll overextend and I'll stomp them. Hopefully. Harsh life on the ocean. Lose sailors again. Renaissance is present. I have enough. I just need a couple of loans. Boom. Still kind of expensive at 41%, but hey, we've got it. I'm still only at Miltech 8. Flipping hell. That did not push me as far forwards as I would have liked. Unfortunately, it's again going to take a long time to come around the Horn of Africa. Imereta is no longer a valid rival. Interesting. Wanted to see if Mutapa had less interest in defending those guys, but it doesn't look like it. Okay, so why am I losing money? High fleet maintenance. In fact, the heavy ship, the flagship, is worth like half of my fleet maintenance right now. Oops. Maybe you shouldn't get all 3 upgrades at the start. Although I just don't know if you can upgrade it later. That's part of the problem. It doesn't look like it's possible. Or if it is, I wouldn't know how. You know what? I've just realised something. We have... what was it? 80-something% ship capture chance. It is possible to steal other people's flagships. I could just start a collection of people's flagships. I think you only get the bonuses from your own, but you can absolutely steal the other people's. So it would be like the Dutch Maritime Museum, which is one of my favourite places. So I have a friend of mine from the UK who's moved to the Netherlands, and he didn't realise the history between the Dutch and the British in terms of naval combat and things. And apparently he went to the Dutch Naval Museum and just saw all of the captured Union Jack flags, which the Dutch had taken in their wars against the English, just like plastered all over the walls. And he's like, I've never felt more depressed. Like, yes, the English have in fact lost wars. Shock news, I know. Against the Dutch, of all people. Malgin died. Damn it. Generals seem to die very frequently. Let's have this be... Caitlin. Not an amazing general, but I can't really expect better. We're not really built for land battle. Can I take the island off the Horn? No, because I have no claims on it. And I can't fabricate one. And imperialism is not a thing yet. Nor is the us versus the world CB, which is a thing that pirate republics can get. Where is it? Ooh, we're going to get another reform soon. War against the world doctrine. Enables war against the world CB. And that one also disallows slaves. So we may well go for this. We'll talk more about those when we get to that stage, though. Sounds like the Dutch are doing some quality trolling. Yeah, and I couldn't be prouder. Pirate World Revolution. Well, the pirates were surprisingly egalitarian for the era. Hence the Articles of Agreement. The guidelines, as some would call them. You're still 11. You're only 3 ahead of me now. And the next one is the second military tactics. So long as you don't get to Miltech 12 before I hit 9. 9? But that's going to be in 61. That's 8 years from now. That's a long time. I think that I'm going to need to declare this war sooner rather than later. Although Mutapa are suffering in this war. They're having rebel problems. Big rebel problems. I think I might just let them sweat it for a bit longer. Also, I can put another claim for their capital, and then I can make that the CB, which will get me war score for just occupying it. And yes, I know the spy network is there. I'm actually purposely keeping that spy network, because the higher your spy network is, the faster you can siege down their forts. And it is going to be a race between Marina and Vicondry, my capital. Don't know if I should be angry at the Dutch or proud of their 0 fucks given. Oh, proud, definitely. So is war against the world a substitute and alternative for imperialism, CB? I don't know. And yes, imperialism does still exist. Aha! Well, oh, this is Caitlin. The fleet hasn't had a single admiral upgrade yet. I think the New World game I was going to go and do... hang on. I think the New World game I was going to go and do is going to end up being a Caribbean pirate republic after all. Good location to capture trade from around the world and a good chunk of the world. Yes! And I was, I'll be honest, kind of hoping that the Pirates of the Caribbean would win the poll when I did the poll for saying who I should play as. I'm glad that we did Madagascar, because I've never played in this part of the world. This is completely new to me. But yeah, the Pirates of the Caribbean looked really kind of cool. And what I would have done is let the game run on Observer until one of the pirates had spawned of their own, and then play as that pirate. Because I'm not entirely sure what the requirements are, and whether you can split off a pirate republic from, for example, one of the colonial nations. Frequent elections. So, we can reduce the length of the term time, and reduce the absolutism, or we can increase the absolutism and increase the length of the election term. I am not intending to fight many land wars. So we are definitely going to go frequent elections. I don't really care about absolutism. Although... oh, okay. It does reduce maximum of absolutism. I was like, I wonder if the Pirate Republic actually reduces that. And yes, it does. So I wonder what my maximum is now. It's going to be like 3. Mutapa pieced out. Tokwe have grown. I keep losing my opportunity to go after Mutapa. Ajuran is losing badly to Ethiopia. Alright, well I think that this is going to be the go time then. So we need to stop you drilling. Stop you mothballing. Because we're going to need the navy active to fight against any Mutapa reinforcement waves. And we're going to need you ready to do battle at a minute's notice. Not a minute. I'm going to need you to recover a bit. That'll do. Let's stop you drilling. So we have excellent drill. We have excellent professionalism for the era. In fact, I would not be at all surprised if our professionalism is the highest in the world. Yep, by quite a long way, in fact. And I absolutely cannot afford to let them get to Miltech 12. I've just noticed Mutapa's at 9, So when I gave these guys independence, they must have got a tech boost or something, because I'm pretty sure when they were my vassals, they were not this high miltech. Kind of want to see the Pirates of the Caribbean run just for all the Monkey Island references. I mean, play the Caribs and raise the black flag. Two different people quoting there. You can play as the Caribs, however they are a native, so you would need to reform the natives. Then I think that makes you a tribal? Or does that make you straight away into a republic or a monarchy? I'm not sure, I haven't played a native since Dharma. Because remember, you have to be a republic or a monarchy, not a tribal, not a native, in order to form a pirate republic. So I think it would take you longer than it took me to do this. That story about the Union flags in the Netherlands reminds me of a Confederate flag battle in Minnesota. Captured at Gettysburg when the Virginia Military Museum asked for it, the governor said something like, "You know how we got it? If you want it, come and take it." Suprastoris, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Forming the natives changes you into whatever your neighbour, I guess you mean. So if your neighbour is a republic, you become a republic. Okay. i.e. the one you get the reforms off of. And we're going to go fairly heavily into debt. I mean, we're already 150 in debt. And this is all without economic ideas, so this is a little bit dangerous. But hopefully once we've secured this part of the island, then I can at least hide my armies back here and just leave them on zero maintenance while I recover my economy. I'm a little bit concerned because I have nowhere to hide at the moment. And so long as I can maintain naval superiority, then we're fine, except for the people on our neighbours. Now, I am aware that Zanzibar could get captured. That is a thing that could happen. Although, not if I leave a fleet here. So there is that too. I could even leave my transports there. Let's go ahead and bring you lot home as well. Pick up the heavies. Prepare for a war. That's a lot of stuff we're losing. And if you want to go and attack my capital, you are more than welcome to do so. I can get another maritime idea. No, I'm going to save up for Diplo techs because I really want to get to Tech 9 so I can get the upgraded heavies and the upgraded lights. Hey, Colinus. Gonna have a look a bit. I'll be here. 33% here. Fair enough, Dana. No worries. Alright. We're all here. 6 heavies, 13 lights. Hang on, does the flagship knock out as a heavy? It does. Alright, Mutapa have now got 5 heavies. They are Diplo 8 against my Diplo 7. So they do have the .2 naval morale, but I'm really good at shippy stuff. And I think I just generally have more ships than they. And I have my... Actually, he doesn't add any military combat at all. I'm somewhat tempted to hire an admiral. In fact, this guy is the worst possible admiral I could have. Anyone would be better than that. Probably. So we're going to call this one Vasco. Okay, we're going to have a second Vasco. Come on, this can go up to 9 pips, and you give me a 4. And then a 5. Flipping hell. I was trying to save these points. 6. I need fire. Although in this era... No, yeah, shock is more galleys. 1 more. That's more like it. And we can go ahead and fire these guys because they were rubbish. There we go. Should probably go to sleep. Happy second Sunday of Advent. Thank you, Dark Engineer. And sleep well, if you do, in fact, choose to sleep. Alright, so in Morena, we are going to say that the capital is the target. Mutapa will unfortunately join. That's just the way it's going to be. Mutapa accepted the call. There's a lot of rebels over here, so Mutapa's going to have to fight through the rebels to get to me. I'm kind of intrigued to see where you go. You are going for my capital, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on Defensiveness Edict. Then I'm going to go for their capital, I'm going to siege it. Just in case. Oh, hello Portugal. And Castile. How do I fancy my chances just in a straight-up fight? 3 ahead. They have the tactics. I have the discipline. I have the... not discipline. Actually, what are their bonuses? They've gone defensive ideas, so they will have morale. Plus they have the 12 Sampis of Imerina, which means even more morale. They're going to have 25% more morale than me. Plus all the technology modifiers. No, I think I'd rather just siege them down. Which I'm relatively confident I can do quicker. And there's Mutapa's army, so I did the right thing. And their entire navy is stuck in this one province, and Imerina does not have a navy. So the thing that could sink me here is if Sakalava decides to declare war. That would be kind of bad. Two more years before I can raid again. We will definitely keep this chap around. Now only costs 8 Republican tradition, but he is even better. And we now have a 644. God, I love republics. So Kalava could go for Imerina and try and steal the territory. This is true. And they do have each other rivaled, so that is very possible. What? How? Oh, they got a breach. They have minus 16 siege ability, so how the living daylights have they caught me? Neither of our generals have siege ability. What? That's ridiculous. Did that seriously just go from like minus 40 to 7? One cannon. They were still on like minus 40. This has suddenly gotten a lot more nerve-wracking. No, seriously? What? Oh, this is an actual fort. That might be part of the reason. This is only a level 1. Alright, well, we took it. That's not going to do much good. Why would I get a river crossing going here? I'm going to let them go for their capital, I think. 14 against 9, and they have the tech advantage, so I'm not sure about this. This whole war just got a hell of a lot more hairy. I don't believe it. I have the professionalism advantage. I had the defensiveness edict. Like, seriously, what the hell? Here we go, battle is joined. Oh my god, they have so much more morale. I'm going to lose this war. How much manpower do these guys have? 10,000. They're going to retake the capital. Alright. So be it. This entire war has gone just about as badly as a war could go. And they're going to win on a 7% again, I know it. Come on. Right, 2-to-1 odds. -1, but it's a defensive battle. Yeah, I may have timed this poorly. It's going to be like an entire month to get there. And then they're going to have the defensive advantage in the hills. No, thank goodness. The fact that they failed that might win me this war. I do still have the morale disadvantage, but I significantly outnumber them. Which means I'm doing a lot more damage to them than they are. Morale could still be an issue, but I'll just keep on hitting them and keep on hitting them. Yeah, we did it. Oh, hell. Oh my gosh! That's going to be another loan. It's going to take me a while to recover from this one. Knowledge is power. Alright. And you're quickly trying to recruit mercenaries there. Because of course you are. Well, to be fair, it is the only thing you can do. -2 fight here. Land fire damage. Not the most useful thing ever, but fine, I'll take it. The Supreme Creator. Once, there was nothing. Then Morari created the world and brought man out of the hole in the ground. Morari created the mountains, and Morari can make them tremble with his voice. Morari lit the fires known to man, and Morari causes the rain to fall. Morari is the father and the mother of humankind, and will guard us in adversity. We have come across an increasing number of followers of Morari recently. They all have in common that they refuse to acknowledge any other spiritual power other than the one god, and while they speak freely and gladly of his existence, they guard the secrets of the cult itself carefully. So just gain the Morari cult, which I don't actually know what it does yet. No. Caitlin doesn't have combat ability. Siege ability, does she? Grab one more regiment and just send them in. I didn't shift consolidate because I wanted to reduce the number of regiments I have, because I'm still over my limit. In fact, I might even send in another. I'm sending those two. Because I am going to want to get rid of another... Actually, let's get rid of the small unit. Okay. I wonder if I can provoke their navy into coming out. No? No. Yes. Right. You're going to come around here. That's fine. I will chase you. Especially as you very kindly split out the various heavies. So this is only a fraction of your main fleet. Though you may come for Zanzibar's fleet. Yeah, you are, aren't you? Well, we caught that fleet. And you need to go and sit in Zanzibar for the time being. Bloody hell. Son of God, strangers have recently encountered us, bearing with them the word of Christ, whom they claim to be the Son of God. They say he descended from the heavens and walked along us, teaching about love and forgiveness. In the end, he died on a cross for our sins, only to resurrect and ascend to the heavens. They say that one day the Saviour will come back to earth and grant his followers eternal life, and establish the final kingdom of God. Unlock Christianity. The Suezi heroes of Katara. There was a time when Suezi ruled these lands as an empire. Katara encompassed all that is known to men. In our travels, we have come across an increasing number of peoples that claim to be heirs of Katara, cherishing these heroes of old. The spirits still exist in the world around us, in nature, in our minds, and some can even communicate with Suezi through oracles and diviners. In their lands, we have come across a group wandering priestesses who have the power to channel these spirits, and through them, disease, infertility, and misfortune can be mitigated. There are those who devote their entire lives to the lost ancestors and their sanctuaries. All worldly authority must flow from the ties to the past, and no one can be fit to rule without a direct link to the Suezi spirits. Cult of Mlira. We have come across a people that venerate and worship their own ancestors as gods. Through powerful oracles, they can constantly keep in touch with their predecessors, and by ensuring their graves and shrines are in good order, they can be ensured the ancestors themselves have the power to carry on protecting them. And there we go. We sank a heavy, we stole a heavy. We sank a light, we stole a light. Very well, I accept. Watching while playing Stellaris. Reasonable. Completely reasonable. Right, I was going to go and delete you, so I don't need to pay for that unit being over the force limit. They are still losing a fair chunk of change, though. And we have caught the rest of their navy. And there we go. Captured another heavy, captured 4 lights, and 3 transports. I love this ability, it's ridiculous. Alright, let's put the transports over here. You may as well leave port now. And we'll send you over here. I'm both watching and playing you for at the same time. 200% overextension, yay or nay? Nay? That's kind of crazy. Why would you do that? Oh, you know what I could do? Oh, hang on. Oh, I can raid you again. Aha! And that is how we can pay off some of our loans. I do need to go and repair some of these ships as well. But the main thing I want to do is blockade the siege here so that I get a bonus. 35%, that's more like it. And there we go, plus 37%. Took me capital back. So, how much do I want to have a fight against Matapa? They do have an army of 20,000, but I have an army of 15. They have artillery and cavalry, although their infantry ratio is lacking a little. And they are only Miltech 9. I'm only 1 behind, which is admittedly a big one. Though I'm not actually that far away from leveling up. And I could land my armies in Zanzibar and then attack their provinces over here. Because I would like to get Matapa out of this war and then have them break their alliance with Saklava. Sending the damaged ships home to repair. And then the transports can come in here. I'm going to see if these guys try to leave. Yes, repay that loan. No? Wise. They've already had the living daylights battered out of them once. They don't want to do it again. With this new DLC, can you make the Knights a Pirate Republic? Yes, though it's going to be difficult because the Knights start as a theocracy and you cannot form a Pirate Republic as a theocracy. So you would need to complete the entire theocracy government reform chain, then reform to either a republic or a monarchy, and then you can become a Pirate Republic. At which point they would be utterly ridiculous because the Knights have a plus 50% force limit bonus. The government form gives you a 50% force limits bonus. And then if you take maritime, you get another 50% maritime force limit bonus. So that's 150% force limits right there. So you could have a completely disgusting navy. Not to mention the 33% capture power that this also gives. Ooh. Hang on, let me see if... How close are we to getting the next technology? Not hugely. That's only colonialism. Printing press is not even on the horizon yet. Question is, do I want to pay 50% tech penalty for an idea group? Yes, I think I do. Because that idea group is going to be expansion. I'm trying to think if my economy can actually afford this. Yeah, I'm going to say it can. We'll make it work. If I have to steal the money, I will. Only took 160% instead. Any overextension is really bad. Aggressive expansion you could probably do. Overextension spawns the really bad events. Would it be worth downing it or declaring an... Would it be worth going after Saklava? I mean, actually, that is the way I did it previously. Mutapa would not join because they're already in a war. However, as soon as I piece these guys out, Mutapa would then be free to join. I think I would rather break their alliance with Mutapa. So my intention here is to get Mutapa down to low, where they'll peace out. Especially if I could take some territory off of them. Not actually off of them, I mean just occupy some territory. And I reckon I can. They have one fort. Taking this land shouldn't be too hard. I have plenty of manpower, which they do not. I've already shown that I can rule the seas. And while my armies are not the best, in fact, one thing I should probably double check is Mutapa's military capabilities. They do have defensive ideas, and they do have extra discipline. But actually, I think that Imerina has the better military capability. And we're about to kill 4,000 Mutapa troops out of their 21, so they'll still have 17 after this. Foreign plots? Gain 45 ducats, lose Republican tradition, or lose stability. Absolutely cannot afford to lose stability because that is ridiculously expensive, so I will lose the Republican tradition. Which does mean I can repay another loan. Do I want to? Yes. So I have 3 months to raise some additional funds. I think that can be arranged. Not a huge amount, but any little helps. So what's the numbers here like? Bad. They have 0.6. They have 0.4 tactics more than me because of 108 discipline versus my 0, and also the tack advantage. And they have 0.7 more morale. So even this fight I am struggling. And there's their main army. Okay. Away. Hopefully I do get there quicker. So I am not 100% sure it's going to be I'm going to be able to piece Matapa out independently. I don't think I can. So yes, I will need to go after Saklava now. Then Miltech 11. Does Saklava have any military abilities? Espionage and religious. No. Short answer, they don't. Oh, actually, that's the point. Okay, I get no bonus for royal justice because that's a legitimacy thing and I'm not legitimate. Well, in that case, I would say let's go ahead and send these guys home. Let's double check to see who here is repaired. And send you up here. Because I want to make sure that we maintain our control over the Zanzibar crossing. And send you home. So yes, we will declare war on Taklava. Riga's a coastal republic, they'll make a good pirate republic. They're not on an island. You have to be on an island or in the Maghreb to become a pirate republic. They're not on an island, so they can't. Unless they took Ozil and abandoned Riga itself, in which case, yes, you could. Alright, so Manabe is their capital, which I already can blockade. Probably. Once you're repaired anyway, I'll definitely be able to. And I'm going to have to start taking some more loans. I could debase the currency once. I kind of regretted doing that last time, though. I think I'll hold off. When do I get there? 60. That's 2 years away. That's too long away. I don't have the drill skill anymore. Not as much of it anyway. Also, I only have a humiliation CB against you, so I do need to build up a spy network. Whoops. I can't cancel that one, though. Well, actually... Oh, hold on. They're on medium. You know what I could be doing against Mitapa? I'm an idiot. Blockade them. Duh! Because blockading adds a bunch of war score. It also adds a bunch of war exhaustion, which makes them want to peace out more quickly. Another election. This is going to cost me 8 Republican tradition, which gets me to the borders of the danger zone. But we will have a 655 ruler, and it's still not very expensive because of the yearly Republican tradition. So yeah, we're just going to keep on getting this guy while we can. Feel like they need to go through and make all the legitimacy ideas also give Republic, even if it's only 0.25. That would be nice. I mean, in some instances it wouldn't make sense, but I think here on Madagascar it would. Remember the Japan campaign when I blockaded Ming for 50 years? Yes, but I think that they have modified one of the control things. So you remember part of the problem with blockading Ming was because of the control modifier, they recovered devastation really quickly. You will notice that devastation is now linked to friendly forts, minus 0.41, while control itself only gives you minus 0.08, which is actually fairly slow. Although it is per month, so it's not as slow as it probably should be. Mitapa have basically no forts. They have just one in Zimbabwe, otherwise none. Which means anything that I'm blockading here on the coast has a massive amount of devastation, and that's not going to recover anytime soon. So all of the coast up here we're doing a huge amount of damage to. But it's not, I'm not trying to blow them up. I'm trying to get them to peace out. So I'm trying to raise their war exhaustion, which we're doing through the devastation. Once the war exhaustion is high enough, they will peace out, and then I can take this whole chunk of territory in one go. And then basically the idea is I just declare war on Saklava, like straight away, and Matapa will probably go, no. We just got out of a war, thanks. You should invade Ethiopia. Why? The bourgeois class has grown increasingly resentful of the power of the noble families, particularly their lack of opportunities in the higher ranks of government. So lose admin or lose diplo. I'm going to take the diplo hit right now, I think. Alright, so colonialism is now present in Yemen. Hopefully from there it'll start spreading to this stuff, although it looks like Yemen and Ethiopia are at odds. Okay. This war is going to take a while because this has just become a war of attrition. Although I am very heavily in debt already. I don't particularly want to go further. I could stop paying my armies. You know what? Let's head back up here and then just drop your maintenance. Boop. There's nobody on the island to fight us. All we need is the naval power. And the other thing about naval power is nope, we are still well under our force limit. Part of the thing that's costing me a lot is I have a lot of active heavy ships, and they are not cheap. So that's usually roughly equivalent to 16 months, so in just over a year, we should be able to end this war. Mara, completely occupied by Yemen. If Mara loses all their land to Yemen... You got an alliance with the Timurids? Not that it matters. If Mara loses all their stuff, then I probably will go after the Mara Island. Even if it's an OCB, though I don't generally like using those. Could be doing war taxes. Always forget this. I wish there was a reminder for war taxes. Sure. It's at this point where I kind of wish I had the cult which reduces war exhaustion. People behind attack maybe don't war tax. Yeah. Probably would have been wise, but also I'm behind on money. Oh, and you're sitting here taking attrition. That's not good. Let's not do that. That sounds like a terrible plan. Welaita faced almost a decade of utter chaos, slowly consuming the country from within and bringing it to the verge of collapse. The Maldives have decided to cancel my fleet basing rights, so I let my relations with them fall too low, and now I'm getting a call for peace. Oh, but we have 100%. Because we've occupied them and Matapa's not been able to do anything for too long. In that case, yoink. So if we were to just turn around and maybe start a bit of a scuffle over here. Matapa would join. I think I need a little bit of time to recover my economy. We could also convert to Islam at this point. I'm kind of enjoying the fetishists. They're interesting, so I'm going to say no. Whoops. Try to select the navies. Unfortunately, having lost the Maldives, I can't then go and steal money in Coromandel.